Well, our lead story we're looking at today is what's happening in Indonesia after 3 Nigerians accused and convicted of drug trafficking charges were executed and cremated in Indonesia last week. Now, the Nigerian government heavily appealed for the Indonesian authorities to commute the sentence.
14 people had been sentenced to death, but the execution of 10 was delayed. The Indonesian authorities had announced they did not want the errors to be committed, despite human rights organizations like Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch condemning the sentences. The Indonesian government has maintained that it was only following the law. With us this morning is Mr. Ricky Gunawan, a lawyer of one of the executed Nigerians last Friday. Hello, Mr. Gunawan. A while back, we were saying that 10 people are still awaiting their fate. What's the exact situation today? Have you received any explanations?
The reason of why from 14 and then they decided to execute only 4, there was no explanation. The Attorney General office on Saturday gave an official statement that the reason they postponed the execution for the 10 people was for judicial and non-judicial arguments. But in the media, in the public, the Attorney General always said that the 14 people to be executed have no further legal issues. So there is an inconsistency, actually.
Your client, Humphrey Jeffrey, was also executed. Do you think the judgment was unfair?
Since 2003, he had a restaurant, African restaurant in central Jakarta. Police officers told Jeff that they wanted to search the restaurants because they had heard that he'd been drug dealing in that restaurant. He had an African staff who was the cashier of that restaurant. His name is Ifani. And the Indonesian staff told Jeff that Ifani had been ordered to leave by a police officer without any explanation or reason. The police searched the restaurant and then they couldn't find anything. And then the police officer called their informant and then they went back again to the restaurant and then they searched the bedroom and then they found drugs under the bed. And they accused Jeff. And then Jeff said to the police that Ifani's bedroom. Because the amount of heroin was 1.7 kilos, and the urine testing was negative, so the court said that this amount of drug must be for drug dealing. They said that because black-skinned Nigerian, often monitored by the police officers and involved in systematic and secretive drug dealing, then you must be drug dealing as well. The one Kelly who ordered Ifani to plant the drugs, was arrested and convicted for drug offenses, but not related with Jeff's case. And then before he died in prison, he asked Jeff to forgive him and to pray upon him. And then he confessed to Jeff that he is the one who ordered Ifani to plant the drugs. That event was witnessed by 7 other prisoners. And those prisoners gave statements to the Supreme Court as part of Jeff's case review. But then it was rejected because the Supreme Court said it had no evidence value.
And how has the Nigerian government reacted, if at all you made an appeal to them?
I think the central government, the Nigerian central government, did not do anything sufficiently in public. Because as we may have seen, that the Pakistani government and Indian government, they did all they can to prevent the executions. And I've already informed to the Nigerian colleagues in the embassy that the only way to stop the executions is for your president to call the President Jokowi, Indonesian president, and ask him to stop the execution because this guy is innocent and the court decision is racist. We will continue the fight because the execution is illegal for 2 reasons. The Attorney General office violated the 2 laws. First, about the clemency law, and execution cannot be carried out until clemency decision has been made. And the second one is the rules of execution. The rules of execution says that 72 hours after the notification, they can execute. But in this case, they execute less in 72 hours. We plan to see the lawsuit against the government, against the Attorney General office.
Now, that was Ricky Gunawan, a lawyer of one of the executed Nigerians, and it is the first time one person who accounted for the happenings in Indonesia has spoken about it.